Hello, lovelies. This is kind of going to be a video called Buy This, Not This, and it's going to be my way to help you incorporate um, safe products into your life that are natural, organic, free of a bunch of harmful chemical additives. They're going to be cruelty-free, vegan products that are relatively affordable as well because that is of concern to a lot of us, especially college students, such as myself. And I know that beauty care products, which in terms of makeup is not something I use, but body care products can get very pricey. Um, and so we want to keep that in mind. And the first product that I'm going to be addressing, just as a general category in this video, is deodorants and antiperspirants. Now, this is a huge one for me because um, there's a lot of misunderstanding surrounding those two terms. Um, and a lot of time, and this is a problem created by the industry in that they often will interchange those two words um, as if they're the same thing, and they're not. An antiperspirant is a substance which is intended to stop you from perspiring, anti-perspirant, so you're not perspiring or sweating, which is one method of trying to counteract uh, odor. However, mainly it is trying to just stop you from sweating so you don't get, sweaty pits. The problem with this is that sweating is incredibly important and natural, a body process, which those secretions, they help us cool down, they help us expel toxins from our body, um, and to block up the lymphatic glands, like that is harmful. Now I understand that we don't always want to perspire, especially, if we're going to an event, or we're on stage, going to play, whatever. We don't want to have, a big armpit stain. I get that. However, on a day-to-day basis, wearing antiperspirants can be very harmful because they have a compounding effect. Have you ever went to wash your underarms and noticed that there's like white gunk, or it's really hard to get off, it's kind of filmy and stuff? Well, that's because they clog our pores. They're not non-comedogenic. They clog our pores. They clog the glands. They build up, and the chemicals in most. Here's just one of your typical antiperspirants for women. Secret. Um, I bought when I did clinical strength because I was a big sweater and I, didn't want to have any odors, didn't want to be sweating. Um, and the main ingredient, if you look at this, and I encourage you to look at yours, um, yeah, you're probably not gonna be able to see it with my webcam, obviously, but it's just aluminum zirconium triclohydrex gly, which I believe is short for glycol, 20% anhydrous, and the purpose is an antiperspirant. So there's nothing in this um, that is supposed to be deodorant. There's a bunch of inactive ingredients in it, which I encourage you to try and pronounce. Cyclopentasiloxane, dimethicone, tribehinin, petrolatum, cyclodextrin, C1836 acid, triglyceride, fragrance, PPG 14, butyl ether. Lovely, beautiful chemicals, which I've worked with in the lab, some of them, PPG and things. So, fun. Well, there's nothing in there that's a deodorant. Now, a deodorant is what you want, um, and a deodorant is a substance with which its intention is to um, kind of disinfect, deodorize um, the the bacteria that would be causing underarm odor, because we have certain bacteria um, that can live in our underarms, in those pores and whatnot, that can cause bad smells, and a deodorant will help neutralize those, kind of similar to using like a disinfectant or anti-infectant wipes, which, by the way, also can be very dangerous. And I also encourage you to read the box, because I never took the time to read it before until a couple days ago. And if you actually read it, I'm sure most of you, this is how you use your little Clorox wipe. Take it out, you wipe your surface down just as if you were wiping it with a wet rag, but then you throw it out because it's disposable. Well, guess what? That does not disinfect the surface whatsoever. If you read the box, the surface must maintain wetness for 3 to 5 full minutes, before being then wiped down again, and all this other. So basically, waste of money, and you're putting harmful chemicals on your surfaces, which don't use those obviously in kitchens. But I would recommend wearing gloves for sure, because you don't want to be absorbing those into your hands. But anyways, a little off topic, but my point is that they have a similar purpose in that the cloth is attempting to disinfect those bacteria, and this deodorant is attempting to disinfect that bacteria so that the odors aren't caused. So now you're wondering, okay, I want to buy a deodorant, not antiperspirant, I think is what you're getting at, chick on the internet. Yes, that is what I'm getting at. However, this is incredibly important. Companies know that people are worried about what they're putting on their bodies. Some of us, obviously not all of us, and for those of us that have the time to worry about these things, or the money to change these things, or whatever the case may be, we start worrying. We hear like the natural products movement and these new terms, and aluminum, that's not supposed to be in deodorant. Okay, well, what am I supposed to get? So companies are like, oh, you're worried about what's going on? Oh, well, don't worry. We're natural. We're aluminum free. And they make it seem as though they're great and you should buy them. And they're not always great. So let's take a look at Tom's, an incredibly popular natural product brand. Clinically proven unscented deodorant. This shit doesn't work, by the way. At least not if you sweat. If you're a person that just like never sweats and whatnot, then I guess try this if you don't worry about any of the other stuff that's in it. But it didn't work for me whatsoever. Another reason though is that you have to detox, which I'll talk about after I talk about these products. So, first ingredient, propylene glycol. Water, sodium stearate. Then this is what these companies do, and I can't stress this enough. This is what companies do. They throw a few natural good ingredients in amongst the chemicals to make it seem like, oh, look, this has aloe barbadennis leaf juice in it. It must be so great. Yeah, aloe's fucking great. But not when it's alongside with all the other shit. Zinc rinocolate, glycerol laurate. Humulus lupus, which is hops extract, which is great. Organic sunflower seed oil, okay, great. And then that's it. So it does have good ingredients in it, but it also has a lot of unhelpful ingredients in it. Furthermore, it doesn't really have enough to make much of an effect for most people. And that's another issue is there are a few key things to incorporate in a natural deodorant, which I really feel Tom's is lacking in. Um, so I just also another thing I would note about deodorant such as this is that this isn't the most sanitary method of applying deodorant, because every time you rub this stick on your armpits, you're you're having a cross transfer. Sorry, one second. Just gonna take a sip of water. You're having a cross transfer of any dead skin, bacteria, whatever that's on your armpits onto the stick, which is not something you want. I mean, if you're gonna use a stick, if you have to use a stick, then I guess wipe it every time you use it on like a tissue or something, but then you're like, wasting a tissue, that's a problem in and of itself. So, that's one of the problems with Tom's. Now, this is called buy this, not this, so, not this. Buy this. Which you can't even see. But this is a wonderful product from Schmidt's. It's deodorant. It smells so good. Okay. And I think they come in like 4 different scents, like unscented. There's like a lavender. There's like maybe a patchouli, something else, and then this bergamot lime one, which is fantastic. And this is a natural deodorant. It says this all-natural formula effectively neutralizes underarm odor and absorbs wetness. It's aluminum-free, propylene glycol-free, which you remember was the first ingredient in the Toms and one of the inactive ingredients in the secret. It's also paraben-free and phthalate-free. So now, one of the wonderful things about reading an actually all-natural product is that you can pronounce all the ingredients and you know what they are, and it's plant-based and it's wonderful. So this is shea butter, baking soda, arrowroot powder, cocoa seed butter, bergamot oil, lime oil, vitamin E, and hop extract. And I think one of the things to remember when you're putting something on your body, which is absorbed by your pores, is that if you wouldn't eat it, do you really want to put it into a part of your body, that's gonna be absorbing it, Like, think about this. You can eat cocoa butter, you can eat shea butter, you can eat baking soda, you can eat arrowroot powder. These are all things that I actually have in my cabinet or fridge or whatever. I could probably make this stuff. No, I don't think I could, but it's not far off of an idea. Bergamot oil, don't have that because I'm not a perfume maker. Lime oil, I mean, I have limes. Vitamin E and hops. Okay, I don't drink beer, but still. Point is, if you wouldn't ingest it, orally, then why are you ingesting it poorly? Okay, actually, it would be subcutaneously or dermatologically, but still, the point is, you're still ingesting, the things that you put on your body, just in a different manner. So this stuff is really wonderful. And the way that it's applied, unlike these sticks, is there's 2 methods. You can either use your fingers. I don't really like that though, just because, then you have to try and like get it out, which can be a little difficult for us. Especially then if you have nails, it gets under your nails, and you have to wash your hands, and that's just pain. What's really lovely is it comes with this, which I know it's super cute. It's a little spatula. It smells good too. Anyways, and you just scoop just a tiny bit out, just like a little pea size, you know, and you just put it on your underarm. And what I do, which is kind of fun and I like it, maybe because I like cooking, I don't even know, um, is I put it on and then I just put my underarm down and then I scoop the rest out for my other one, put it on, close that one, and by the time that I've done to do the bolt, this one has melted, like, because this stuff is basically like an oil, you know, and a butter, kind of like if you were to buy like, you know, coconut butter or coconut oil, whatever. And so it melts from the heat of your body, you know, and these things are kept in a state where they're very, very soft. They're not solid at room temperature. Um, well, except this one obviously is. But so there's not really much melting involved with those two. This one has to melt a little bit naturally just with your body heat. So when you close, you know, your arm, it melts, and then you just take this, and this is I mean, it's like freaking frosting a cake. I actually find it really just nice, and it takes a little bit longer than obviously just going to, you know, but it's not a big deal. Like if you really don't have 30 seconds, then you need to take your time in the morning, people, you know, like I'm not saying an hour or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, you shouldn't be getting ready in 5 minutes. You should be rushing. You need to, you know, wake up. But anyways, so I just, you know, spread it around, and you know, it works perfect. It's lasted all day. It's lasted through my workouts, which is another thing. You don't want to be wearing an antiperspirant when working out because um you need to perspire when you're working out. It's just imperative that you do. And I know it's not the funnest thing to be all sweaty up in you know, the gym or whatever, but hey, you just gotta, you know, that's the name of the game. You sweat when you work out. And you know, there's no reason that you should, you know, be smelling horribly or anything. You know, if you're using a deodorant that neutralizes those bacteria, then you should be relatively off to the right start. However, another thing that people need to realize, you know, if they are having body odor, is that that'd be like saying, you know, I have a cold, so I'm just going to take this medicine and it solves my cold, and if it doesn't solve my cold, well, then the medicine's effing stupid. You know, you have to realize what you're doing to contribute to that cold, what, you know, what's going on in your body. So same thing with the deodorant. What is going on in your body? If your deodorant's not working, what are you doing to contribute to a situation in which you might have bacteria or might have body odor? And, you know, that could simply be just you're not showering enough or you're not washing well enough. But it could also be a lot of more important, not more important, not that hygiene isn't important, but more, I don't know, daily kind of intrinsic things that we do, you know. Are you drinking enough water? You know, one of our best ways for our bodies to detox is by drinking water. And if we're not drinking enough water to flush those toxins, you know, and bacteria out through our, you know, our urine and bowel movements, those are excretions, then they're going to be coming out in other excretions, you know, in our sweat. So are you eating enough water? Drinking enough water. Are you eating the right foods? You know, are you eating enough fruits and vegetables, you know, and the vitamins and things that help us? Because if you're drinking a lot of, if you're eating a lot of foods that um, create certain odors in the bodies, certain proteins, you know, meat proteins and things, when they break down, um, they can lead to a lot of odors, and that can, you know, affect our lymphatic glands. And so it's very important to look at, you know, what your diet is, you know, your sleep, just everything, total body health, which really affects those kinds of things. And I think just one final thing to consider is that this is a process, and a lot of people, when they think, you know, oh, aluminum's bad, I'm just going to start using natural deodorant, they don't realize that it's not just a quick switch like that, because the things that we put in our body and on our body, um, our body is forced to, in a sense, slightly adapt to that, and we have to give our body time to detox. That's what I mentioned earlier, which is that um, you have that aluminum and other things are blocked up in your systems and in your lymph glands, which are also behind the knees, and so what you should optimally do, and you can find this on Google, is not wear any deodorant, anything, for like a week, and it gives your body time to shed. Drink a lot of water, massage your lymph nodes, um, wash your armpits, do dry brushing, just things to stimulate that detox. And yeah, you're probably gonna smell and you're gonna sweat, and it's not gonna be pretty, but once that is done, then you can start using your natural deodorant, and then your body can adjust. So that, I guess, is my first buy this not this video. I'm gonna try and help you incorporate more natural products into your life. So sorry about this red spot. I just scratched myself and it turned red. Like, I have a very sensitive chest, and if I just like scratch myself, it'll just and not go away. I'll probably like put a little lotion or something on it. But anyway, so thank you for listening, and any questions you may have, just leave in the comments and I'll get back to you. Have a great weekend.